Did you ever wonder what would take Aston Villa to become one of the greatest clubs in the world? Well, I will show you in the next 7 season period how we made Aston Villa to become one of the minnows in the English Premier League into one of the greatest teams ever to grace football, not just English football. So, today I'm going to show you seasons 1 through 4 of my PES 2021 Master League. To be forewarned for this, it was all on top player. I wanted to play where I was enjoying the game and not to the point where it was a complete slog fest. And whenever I play Superstar, I just can't consistently enjoy that game mode, so I play on top player. I also did this majority of the gameplays with me playing with my dad. Another stipulation is that the resolution is probably at 720p because I did this through the Share Factory software on the PlayStation console because I recorded all my clips through my PlayStation 4, as well as the HDR effects may cause some gameplay to look very, very bright. But besides that, let's get into this and let's talk about basically the first part of this video series showing how we made Aston Villa into the greatest club I ever played with and the most fun I ever had any time playing career mode, Master League, any of it. So, to start off with, I'm going to go through all the trophies we won through those first 4 seasons, because we won a lot, I will say that. And you'll see the clips in behind as we won those trophies, as well as kind of the transition of the team from the Aston Villa team in that 2021 season, originally, to the team that we ended up having by season 4, which is vastly different, and there's barely any players from that first season, or even in real life that are still there, that end up being in the team by season 4. Complete transition. But okay, so season 1, we finished 4th in the Premier League, and they don't have the Carabao Cup or League Cup in Master League, so we only have the FA Cup, the Champions League, or the Europa League, and then the Premier League to win if you're an English side. So, first season, we finished 4th in the Premier League, we won the FA Cup. Second season, we won the FA Cup, we won the Champions League, and we won the Premier League. Third season, we won the Champions League, we won the Premier League, and we won the FA Cup. And then, so that was 1, 2, 3. And then the fourth season, we won all 3 again on the bounce. So I think that's the correct order. It's hard to follow it because we won it so many times. It was just amazing with the team. Now, of course, would you say it's realistic? No, but is it fun? And is it arcadey, fun gameplay? Or some of it, the gameplay is realistic for the most part, but is it fun to play? And it's completely fun to play and a great story entirely. So, again, as you see Pep Guardiola walking around and waving to the fans, I picked him as my manager, and I wanted a style that fit his and suited his more. So, within that, we played a possession 4-3-3, and we did high pressing, but whereas Pep Guardiola may play very, not, I wouldn't say slow, but definitely not high pace build up, we were always high pace, wanted the highest stamina players we could have, and pushed as fast and as hard as possible. So we are very much a Gingan pressing 4-3-3 attacking team on the bounce. So it was really fun to play as Ollie Watkins scores in the Champions League final against Barcelona. But it's a complete joy to play, and it's just one of, I would say this whole career mode was one of my most enjoyable experiences playing video games with my dad, and that was really a good story to have. And it was just fun how crazy and I would say, I wouldn't say impactful, but just how much it meant to us to win those games. We would get very, very high-strung about it, and it was great to score, and we would cheer and everything, so it was really fun. So, now we'll get into kind of the players we had. So, in this 4-year period, we completely revamped the entire team into this 4-3-3 setup we had, because originally, I think the beginning formation they had was maybe a 4-5-1, more defensive, so we completely revamped it, and we actually switched to a 3-back at times, which in the later seasons became a full 3-back until our last season, which switched back to a 4-5-1. Excuse me. So, and apologies if I'm talking too fast. But, go ahead and start with our lineup. We had Martinez. We had Tyrone Mings. which was fun because we were up a lot by a lot in those games. I had a thing called Tyrone Means time, which meant Tyrone Means would sprint from center back, and we would just have him sprint down the line and try to score. He actually scored a couple goals, which is really fun. But yeah, Tyrone Means, then with Konza in the back. Later, that became Upamecano and Jonathan Tah or Joe Gomez, with Matty Cash or Joe Gomez on the right. Left back became Zinchenko, and then Brandon Williams as Brandon Williams grew faster and faster. Further after that, our central midfielders were Polgare was a great player we had for about a year. Rakitic was one of the first players I brought, and he was integral to our team. Fred, I brought in. Shamin was a good player for us early on until we sold him. And then we also signed, because originally I think they had Bertrand Traore, but we signed Eze. We signed Wayne Rooney later in seasons, but prime Wayne Rooney, because I finished with a lot of the old players were brought back as legends, so like him and Andy Cole, as you saw in that Barcelona game. Andy Cole scored. Julian Brandt was another one we brought in that fourth season. That fourth season we transitioned a lot. Jack Grealish was still our starter on the left wing, and then Ollie Watkins was our starter until he started progressing a little lower. And he actually, I think the first 2 seasons, he won. Actually, that goal makes me laugh every time. He won European Player of the Year, not Ballon d'Or, but he won European Player of the Year. And he was just so amazing. He was fast. He was a great finisher, a brilliant passer, and a good poacher on the ball. And that's showing one of the only red cards I ever saw in the season. They don't get many red cards in PES. But besides that, he started trailing off a little. He was only a 79 overall at the start, and he started dropping to a 77. So we had to transition away from that. And we brought in Wayne Rooney, who was about a 90 overall at striker. But yeah, it was really fun and so enjoyable to play with. And then we had Eze we brought in too. Fred, McTominay, as you saw earlier, we brought in. So we had McFred in the midfield, but they were brilliant. I think Fred was an 82 overall, and McTominay ended up transitioning to an 87 overall. And then later in seasons, after we bought him, we ended up selling him back to United for a profit because he was aging, and we wanted to transition our midfield to be younger. But overall, it was really fun. I would say the best players we had in the season, another brilliant goal by Ollie Watkins, were Ollie Watkins, Matty Cash. Martinez stayed our number 1 goalkeeper throughout these entire seasons. And it wasn't until the last season when I finally brought in a new goalkeeper that we ended up switching away from him. But he was amazing. I loved him every moment playing with him. Wayne Rooney is my favorite player in real life. He's a player that got me to watching Premier League and to watching Man United, and why I'm a Man United fan because of him. But all of that with all those players was amazing. Jack Grealish, he was deceptively fast because he was very quick dribbling on the ball. So that allowed him to just pass by anyone with his pace down the wing. And then Jermaine Defoe right there. Jermaine Defoe is by far my favorite player on this game. And he's one of my favorite players in real life. Just because of what he portrays in the media, at least. Just he seems like a really nice person, really caring, and a great player all around too. But every time in the game when I needed a goal, I brought in Jermaine Defoe. By this point, he was 35. I think we only had him for about a season until he regen, then I bought him again. But in those seasons, he scored every goal I could have ever asked. He brought us back from winning games. There was a game against Rangers where I tried to up the difficulty to Superstar. I was playing on top player. It just wasn't working out. But it was still on Superstar. It was late on the game. We were losing to Rangers, I think 1-0, maybe 2-1. And I brought him on, and he scored a goal in the 95th minute, and we tied that game, which we needed, because otherwise we would have gone out early on that Champions League. But then we ended up winning the Champions League. So, yeah. Most of the games you'll see here were on another brilliant goal by Jermaine Defoe. All these games were on Top Player with me playing with my dad a lot of times. So it was really, really fun, and there's so many memorable goals in here. That's why I wanted to post it to YouTube, because one, I wanted YouTube to be a place where I could share my gameplay and share stories, because I think that's the biggest part of gaming, is to share those moments that are just, they're so fantastical and just so great. And I think I said it earlier, but just these moments, playing with my dad, playing PES, are some of the most enjoyable moments I've had playing video games, just because of the fun we'd have doing it. And we still do it now. We ended up playing 7 seasons at Aston Villa, and you're going to see all 7 seasons, but we are still continuing to play the same Master League, and with different teams, so once we get there, I'll talk about those teams. But then, I think I said in the 4th season we got another treble, so in 4 seasons, we won 10 trophies, had 3 treble winning seasons, and won the FA Cup the first season, and won the FA Cup 4 times in a row, Champions League 3 times in a row, Premier League 3 times in a row. So, amazing stuff, completely. Fantastical stuff, and that's why you play games, is to have fun and enjoy it, and make stories that don't seem like they could ever be real. But then, yeah, you see Thiago Silva there. He ended up regening to some Japanese club. I bought him, and he ended up becoming our star center back by the 7th season. And what I like about PES is, yes, it can be annoying not seeing new players grow, but at the same point, to be able to take, say, a Ronaldo and move him to Leeds and see his career re-blossom and see what would happen if he'd been in a new area, it's kind of fun. And it's a great take on just doing what FIFA does, which I like what FIFA does too. I wish there could be a little bit of both, or you could choose which one you wanted, season to season. But FIFA just regenerates the players, so you have a Ronaldo, he regenerates as a left wing, or sorry, he would be striker now. Striker, Portuguese, in the same league. Different name, different look, everything. But I like it this way. It's more fun this way. At least for me. I get used to it after a while. But besides that, it was so fun playing with this, like I've said many times. And the next couple of videos, I'm going to have these probably come out every couple days or so for the content. So, I forgot to mention, as I see the clips for them now here, we ended up winning the Club World Cup every season we were in it, which is usually not a big deal at all, but it was pretty fun. As you see, Jermaine Defoe comes back in the 4th season. But I will have these videos come out. We'll have a video specifically for the 5th, 6th, and maybe the 7th season altogether. So the second part of this series of Villa becoming the greatest club in the world. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's very different, but I wanted to show you kind of the story and what I've done over the years in playing with games. And I might actually show some of my older videos that I did for FIFA 15 and 16 as well on this channel to show more of that. And do let me know if you like that. But besides that, thank you guys for watching. And I'll see you soon with more on how Villa became the greatest club in the world. And I'll see ya.